Hello and greetings, all you fine feathered individuals. League Unlock is right now. I'm Eric, here with Mark. More LPL action. Week 2, it's week 2, everybody. Rolls on. LCK, we're still waiting, but we were also waiting for a lot of big teams to make their debuts in the LPL, and no off-season move bigger than World Championship winner, top laner Nuguri, coming over to the LPL. But don't call it a retirement party because my man is still at his peak performance.
Hey, you're a top laner, you're heading to the LPL. That ain't no retirement, my man. You're heading in there into the Coliseum. You're there to do battle, duke it out.
It's a harder region. If you're looking at top lane specifically, I'd say there's a lot better top laners in the LPL than the LCK.
Alone, what you're asked to do, what your requirement is going to be, and how you're going to have to play, you're going to have to fight, my man. And let alone fight, you're going to have to create your own advantages, be able to take out, multiple opponents. These type of things, what you're going to be asked as a top laner in the LPL, that's the peak. And nobody better for it so far in the past 2 years than your boy Nuguri.
And FPX making their debut against OMG. Of course, Nuguri getting the nod to start in the top lane. And yes, he definitely had his way with New in this series. Played the Gragas and the Camille. It was classic FPX in this series. We actually got to see them play around topside to success, which is what you absolutely need to do when you have Nuguri on your roster. But this series, really, it was LWX stealing the show on the Kai'Sa. He got 1,500 career LPL kills, the 11th player to do that, and he had 18 of them across 2 games.
And as much as, heading into this game, and ourselves included, are hyping up, the arrival of Nuguri for FPX, the big acquisition, it's important to remember that when FPX was at their very best, when they're performing at the World Championship level, LWX was a huge part of that. He was a major contributing player for them. His responsibility, the way he was playing last year at times, looked relatively careless in those matches. Not what you saw.
A lot of FPX members looked careless last year.
That can happen. But today, on this day, absolutely laser focused. The damage threat was a real deal for FPX. And as you said, things went well. Yeah, they did focus on that top side, and especially focusing individually on Nuguri. Extremely clean first-time performance in the LPL. But really, when you're talking about what's the show stealer, what was able to get FPX across that finish line, to me today, LWX takes the cake.
And he did it both games on Kai'Sa, who we've seen very early on in the season be an absolute S-tier AD carry. And listen, when LWX was at his best in 2019, Kai'Sa was getting picked left, right, and center. He was dominant on that pick, and it's no different here in 2021. But seeing FPX have a dominant, and this was a dominant 2-0 against OMG, without Tien and Do and B making the impact that we're accustomed to them see with this FPX roster, is just the tease of what they're capable of with Nuguri on the squad.
And that's the special thing, right? Everybody performed really to the acceptable level. And then, as we say, LWX, he's the one popping off, and that's the reason you got those strong performances in these games. But you're right. If that continues, what are the chances that you get those games where it's only one member, only LWX popping off? You look at that lineup. That's not going to happen very many times, my man, because you've got Nuguri there, you've got Tien, and you've got Doran B. Those are special players capable of special things. It's going to happen, my man, in some of these games. Getting ready.
And hey, Nuguri, kind of both sides of it. You saw the tank Gragas in game 1 and game 2, the Camille without flash. I swear, he has one questionable flank where he comes in. If he has flash, I think that play goes a whole lot better. I'm not a fan of the no flash on Camille because it's so insane when you can do the flash right after hookshot.
It's one of those incredible risk rewards, right, my man? Because you're getting that extra summoner spell, whatever you're going to want to pick with it, but flash is pretty damn valuable.
Especially on a character like him. But he made it work. He was up 60 CS at points against New. It was an absolute smash. And like I said, Tien was giving him attention. Gimgoon and even Khan at times was getting almost no attention from the rest of the FPX squad. So early and often, we wanted to see them show some love to the top lane. We're only one series in, but it's working so far.
Yeah, and New is absolutely no slouch himself in the top side. There are expectations for him and his performance.
Yeah. Lots of hype on RNG when he was there.
But at the same time, we were talking about that gauntlet, that Coliseum that you're stepping into as a top laner in the LPL. That's the entry. That's the very beginning, my man.
You're
That's
not in the Coliseum yet. He's the guard you got to get through to get in.
He's the one that checks, you're Nuguri. You're allowed in, sir. Welcome to the LPL. Because, you've got some big brutes ahead of you.
Yeah, the Zooms and the Shies of the world. We're excited for those matchups when Nuguri does get there. But looking good very early on for FPX and Nuguri in his debut. Things are not looking so good for one of the other contenders in the LPL. We're talking about Top eSports. Okay, you drop a series to Suning. Okay, maybe you kind of throw one of the games. Suning is a legit squad, went to the World Finals. That's fine. It's early on. Rogue Warriors is a bottom 3 team by pretty much everybody's standards coming into this season. And they dropped 3, well, it goes to 3 games. They dropped game 3 to Rogue Warriors and Top eSports. Where do we start, Mark? There was a lot to pick through this series and not be happy with.
You're going to start with a bucket and a mop, my man, because this was a sloppy mess was what was happening from Top eSports. Just undisciplined play really is the key thing for me when you're talking about what went wrong a lot of times in this series for Top eSports. And the bigger problem is it's undisciplined play from everybody all across the board. All 5 members of this team throughout the 3 games they played against Rogue Warriors displayed that, undisciplined play. What is going on? Not positive for Top eSports. You're looking at players just going in and dying for stupid little trades or sometimes not even getting the trade in certain situations. Not what you needed, and not what, especially Top eSports, yes, this is just one, another bump in the road at the beginning, 0-2, not slamming the alarm, right? But hey, every game is a missed opportunity, and when you're a Top eSports and when you're a team that's going to have to contend against what we're seeing and what we just talked about in FPX, what we're seeing from IG, that your expectation is going to be able to handle at that level. This 0-2 start, that undisciplined play that we saw today, that's not the start.
Now, we love saying, if you're going to struggle, you want to do it early in the season. Get it over with, get things rolling. But, in the LPL, playoff seeding is the most important by far from any of the major regions, and all you have to do is look back to last year, both splits. We're talking not single series. We're talking game score is separating from having a bye into the semis or having to go into the quarters. So every game is incredibly important in the LPL. An 0-2 start, you don't want to be seeing it from TES. And you're right, across the board, 369, that Kennen performance, one of the worst we've seen in the pro scene.
I'll say in the last 2 years, definitely the worst.
The amount of times that he had a 1 frame Kennen ulti and then he just dies immediately. He's not popping Zhonya's, doesn't even have Zhonya's in a lot of these games. Jackie Love, he had some highlight plays, no question. The game that they won, Top, you were like, there he is, boys. Jackie Love popping off. But then he's also doing curtain calls in front of the opposing team and having to pop out immediately, and even Knight. Anytime Top has been dropping games, we've said, well, Knight tried his best in this game. But he even had, and I never see him make mechanical errors or just misclicks. He pops the Zhonya's in one of the pivotal fights in game 3 before the fight even starts. We never see that out of Knight. So it's weird to see all of those things happening at once. And that's how you lose a series to Rogue Warriors.
Yeah, this is by no means a situation where someone, crack the belt out. Okay, guys, let's focus. Really needed to. Yeah, that doesn't need to happen, but absolutely, I think all 5 members do need to get together and talk about their play and examine how they're going into certain things. Because when you're talking specifically about someone, like Jackie Love and the plays that he's making, right? Sure, he's going in and getting that 1 kill, but it's like, dude, you're the ADC. We kind of need you for this objective. What's happening here?
There's one point where he trades with Kellen to kill him, and you're like, Man, he's 2-6. You're 8-3. That's
Yeah,
not worth the trade.
This is not the equations that we're working on. So that is certainly something to be examined when you're talking about what they did. I think another one is their read on the meta right now on champions and things of that nature. Obviously, we've talked about Nidalee specifically being the big
Nidalee.
Yeah, that's
it's
when
the same
again
as
where,
season 10, guys. It's nothing changed. She got stronger, baby, and she was perma-banned last year.
With everything that we've seen with the new items and changes coming through, you're right. The jungle hierarchy has more or less stayed the same.
Nidalee Graves.
Yeah, Nidalee and Graves both being ones that you more or less need to be banning out. And especially so far, the Nidalee in the LPL has clearly been that head and shoulders #1 pick. You saw it how many times in this series? You saw it every single time on the other team. That's a one that you can easily look to fix next time out for Top Esports.
And if you're a fan of TES, I know our boy producer Reed, who we haven't been in the studio in a while. He loves Top Esports. He's got a jersey. He sent me a wall of text that he was very disappointed with the performances today. But listen, it's only 0-2, and if you feel like they need a wake-up call, they don't need anyone on the outside. These 5 members, guys like Jackie Love, Knight, Karsa, even 369 now, these guys have aspirations to win the LPL and go to the World Championship. They know dropping a series to Rogue Warriors is unacceptable, and it feels bad for them. That's all the motivation that they need. They don't need anything from the outside.
Yeah. I mean, individually, looking, I guess, of course, as we've talked about and explained this loss, every member of that squad, all 5, are deserving of some blame and some issues that they can go back and work on and look to improve for the next time. But specifically talking about 369, as we nailed him on that horrible, the worst, as I'm saying, Kennen performance. Yep. That's not 369, right? That's not what we've come to expect and see from him in his career and what level of play he can bring to the table for this Top Esports team and what his level of play allows the rest of the squad to do as we're talking the Coliseum of top laners.
He's there. We were talking about him surpassing.
He's one of the prize fighters, man. He's one of the prize fighters waiting for you. And he did not look anything close to that today. Gonna need a rebound.
Nuguri might have to pick Kennen against him just to, show him how that pick is supposed to work. So Top Esports, by the way, I had to look it up. Next game is on Friday against Rare Adam. God bless Rare Adam.
There it
because
is.
Top Esports is going to be mad, and they are going to absolutely annihilate them on the Rift.
Hey, sometimes you got to pay the sacrifice. And Rare Adam, they're already paying for that sacrifice with an ugly logo. And they're going to pay for it again due to our boys.
How many sacrifices can you have in one spring season? That's just the science that Rare Adam is going to try and discover this split.
That's that rare Adam science, my man.
It's not going to be so rare, this Adam. That's going to be exploded. But yeah, Top Esports, they're 0-2, guys. But if you're panicking, it's way too early. They got a lot to clean up. But what this really means is the Demacia Cup is pretty much meaningless, right, guys? Right?
Yeah, I think we can easily agree on that one. And we're just waiting. A couple days now. Or, hey, tomorrow we got the LCK coming on through. And you better believe that it's going to be just a few matches until we're saying, okay, Kespa Cup, none of that mattered too.
Tomorrow's a full banger. We got the LCK. We got T1 versus Hanwha Life, although Mark's got some rumors that it might not be Faker starting, which if T1 does that, you can't do it week 1. Everyone wants to see Faker in the opening week. You can't have him not go up against Chovy.
It's nothing against Closer, right? It absolutely is nothing against him. We've talked about the positives. We've talked about looking towards the future. Hey, tomorrow ain't the future yet, buddy. Put in Faker. Let the people have what they want. It's the debut. It's the debut of the LCK rebrand. Get Faker out there, man.
He's going to be the face of all the videos and marketing. You're not going to play him week 1. That just seems a little ridiculous. We also got IG back on the Rift going up against LNG, which means the debut of Tarzan, and Victory 5, the Cinderella story from last year, also making their season debut. So we're in full swing, and there's bangers around the globe, and there's going to be for many months.
It feels good, boys. We are right in the thick of League of Legends action starting up. And hey, I know this might be a negative for some people, but it's going to bring in some of the laughs. We got NA coming up on the weekend. You better believe.
The most pivotal and important tournament of the year, the LCS lock-in.
Hey, you better believe it's time, and it's a good time to be a League of Legends fan.
It's a great time to be watching League on Lock. because we'll be bringing all that action. But that is it today for the show. Eric and Mark here with you guys. As always, thank you for hanging out. Bless your hearts, and we'll catch you on that flippity flip.